So this was a clear case in which the police has planted evidence and you've spoiled the careers of 8 or 9 people.
कोई क्लियरली आके बोले मैंने तो मर्डर किया, रेप किया, फिर भी उसको डिफेंड करेंगे.
कोई रिक्रिएशनल उसमें पकड़ा गया तो पुलिस के सामने क्या करना चाहिए?
As all this has started happening because of something we refer to as a media trial. And yes, there are safeguards for the woman because courts have said that certain questions cannot be asked to a woman during cross examination. मैं ये नहीं कहूँगा कि सिर्फ जजेस का रोल है या सिर्फ लॉयर्स का रोल है या सिर्फ लिटिगेंट्स का रोल है. It's a well-oiled machinery that works cohesively. I was coming out and this woman, she comes blasting. वकील चोर होते हैं सबके सब और इनका भी तलाक हो जाना चाहिए और ऐसा. My wife was in shock कि क्या बोल रही है. Sexual intercourse prove हुआ and the court held that the girl was a minor and even if there was a consent, this was a rape case. When the intent is to provide power to a particular sect of the country, that law will always be open to misuse. It has happened with me that clients have come to me that please approach the judge.
आप किसी को एडवाइस करते हो शादी से पहले के ये कुछ पेपर वर्क इन प्लेस रख लो, अगर कोई ना चाहते हुए क्राइम सीन में इन्वॉल्व हो जाता है तो उसको क्या करना चाहिए?
लॉयर को कांटेक्ट करिए सबसे पहले.
How much do lawyers earn?
And the girl lodged an FIR that rape has happened with me.
आज हम बात करेंगे क्रिमिनल लॉयर एडवोकेट यादवेंद्र यादव से. आज के डेट में लॉज का इतना मिसयूज होता है कि हम सबको लॉ की थोड़ी बहुत जानकारी तो होनी ही चाहिए. हमने इनसे तरह तरह की बात करी, जैसे कि अगर आप कहीं क्राइम सीन में विटनेस हो जाएं तो आपको क्या करना चाहिए, पुलिस कैसे झूठे सबूत प्लांट करके हमें फंसा सकती है, कोर्ट में इतना करप्शन होता है, ये लॉयर्स की गलती है, जजेस की गलती है, आज के डेट में ऐसे कौन से अनफेयर लॉज हैं और वो एग्जिस्ट क्यों करते हैं. हमने ये भी बात की कि लॉयर्स को कैसे थिक स्किन्ड होना चाहिए, कैसे एक आम इंसान अपने आप को इस मिसयूज ऑफ लॉज से प्रोटेक्ट कर सकता है. उन्होंने कुछ ऐसे केसेस भी बताए जिसको सुन के तो हम शॉक्ड ही थे. तो आज का एपिसोड बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है, बिल्कुल मिस मत कीजिए. और एडवोकेट यादवेंद्र के लिए अगर कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो तो हमें कमेंट्स में लिख के बताएं. एंड डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब.
And the difference between the US and our country is that here there are certain constitutional provisions which enable you to become a judge. In the US, you don't need a law degree also. The US Constitution simply says that you should be a jurist of a high standing. So you can even be a juror. There is a jury system in the US in the sense that there are a certain set of people apart from the judge and they preside and the evidence is conducted in front of them and based on the jury's decision, the judge then renders his or her decision. So in America, it's all right because ultimately you are becoming a judge based on a favor from the president. In India, you are a constitutional post holder. So your allegiance has to be first and last to the constitution of the country, not to any other organization.
Or to an ideology.
Or to an ideology. Any ideology for that matter. You have to be neutral. In fact, in my opinion, what should be done is, apart from the training that the judges receive, there should be a course in which there should be a desensitization for judges because it is very difficult. I can understand they are ultimately human beings. So they are amenable to all kinds of influences and it's very difficult for a human being to remain neutral. But there should be certain programs, certain desensitization of judges the moment they occupy office. Because once you are in office, once you're sitting on that chair, that is a holy place. I mean, it's holier than any religion
बिल्कुल.
for that matter. Because आप वहाँ पे बैठ के you are deciding the future of an individual who may be hanged tomorrow. And one error on your part and an innocent man loses his or her life.
और उसके पीछे अगर वो सिंगल ब्रेड विनर है तो पूरा परिवार अपने
Exactly.
पूरा परिवार आप
Exactly.
बेसिकली एक फैमिली की आपके हाथ में
Certainly,
हो.
that happens. So there has to be a certain display of neutrality also. I mean, there is a saying in law that justice should not only be done, it should be shown to have been done. So that applies to judges also. You just don't have to be neutral. You have to show your neutrality also. There has to be a display of neutrality. You cannot simply claim that we are neutral. I mean, we have recently had a judge of a high court going to the function of a religious organization and virtually batting for a state of a particular religion. So that's not done. That means that you are, while you're sitting on your bench, you have that ideology, you carry that ideology with you, and that will ultimately reflect in your orders.
But all this cannot be questioned. No one can question it.
You can, there is a provision of impeachment of judges, but that's a very difficult thing. I mean, till today, there has only been one impeachment motion, which was argued in the parliament, and that was defeated. So it's a very difficult thing.
काफी immune है judges.
Yes, there are a lot of immunities, and they are rightly so, because ultimately there will be external pressures on judges, and if we don't give them immunity, it's very difficult to say that a certain wrong has been committed and do something against the judges. So the immunity is rightly there. Nothing wrong in that. But then that has to be justified also. And that can only be done by the judges. That cannot be done by the lawyers or the clients or the public at large. So you display your neutrality, you be honest to the oath that you have taken while sitting on that chair, and everything's fine. Nobody has a problem with that.
Being honest is just a saying. ऐसा होता कहाँ है?
Hota hai. I mean, where there have been judges who have sought transfers voluntarily from the High Court to a different High Court because their sons or daughters have started practicing in that particular High Court.
I
अच्छा.
think एक MP में भी है.
Yes, MP mein there have been 2 judges. And the day their son started practicing in the High Court, they wrote to the Supreme Court that that the Supreme Court should transfer them to a different High Court. So that's there. There are judges who have junior judges sitting as sessions judges or civil judges, and whenever their matters come up in appeal in front of a particular judge, they refuse to listen because they say that there is a chance that we may not be unbiased. So there are judges who are dead honest, and ultimately, see, they are human beings. Nobody can claim to be 100% immune to all external factors. And that is why it's one of the most difficult jobs on the planet. It's for a lawyer to comment on the integrity of a judge is very easy. But it's once you're on that chair, it's a very difficult job. And therefore, you should be prepared for it. Only then you sit on that seat. If you're not prepared for it, आपको डॉक्टर ने पर्चा लिख के नहीं दिया कि you have to become a judge. But once you're occupying that seat, you respect that seat.
यादवेंद्र सर, थैंक यू. आपने टाइम निकाला इतना, बिकॉज आई नो एज अ क्रिमिनल लॉयर आप अभी हमें बताए थे कि छुट्टी तो होती नहीं है.
नहीं होती.
चाहे संडे हो, चाहे आज जैसे रिपब्लिक डे हो, तो आज भी छुट्टी नहीं है.
Because most of the time what happens is, suppose somebody is arrested. So there is a provision in law that once somebody is arrested, within 24 hours, they have to be produced before a magistrate. Now, suppose somebody is arrested on a Saturday. My Sunday is gone. And it has happened with me many times.
कभी कभार अथॉरिटीज जानबूझकर भी करती होंगी सैटरडे को.
अब I don't know if they're so sadistic कि हमें लॉयर की जिंदगी खराब करनी है.
नहीं तो प्रोविजन इसलिए बनाया ना ताकि ऐसा अब्यूज ना हो पाए.
See, जानबूझ के करना इसलिए नहीं होता, because जानबूझ के आप तब करोगे when you want to take away the right of defense from the accused. That's not possible. Because court में the judge is there, the accused has the right to a lawyer, and the accused is given that chance. That much is there in law, that you have to inform the accused that the accused has a right to an attorney, and the accused has to be given an opportunity to contact an attorney. So जानबूझ के तो नहीं होता, but हाँ कई instances में ऐसा होता है that the police misuses their powers, and वो ऑन पेपर तो लिख देंगे दैट हमने इन्फॉर्म किया था कि आप लॉयर को बाद से कांटेक्ट कर लो, बट करने नहीं देते. दैट रेयरली हैपेंस.
तो आपने वाई क्रिमिनल लॉ, एंड मैं एक और अपने एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली में किसी को जानता हूँ, वो भी क्रिमिनल लॉयर हैं, तो उसकी फैमिली तो उनकी बहुत मजाक उड़ाती है, तुम्हारे उड़ाते हैं कि भाई तुम्हारे आ गए तुम्हारे क्रिमिनल्स.
नहीं, सी मेरे साथ ये हुआ है, एंड दिस एडवाइस आई गिव टू ऑल यंग लॉयर्स आल्सो, that a lawyer is a lawyer. Criminal lawyer, civil lawyer, arbitration lawyer, ये public ने एक perception create कर दिया है. What happens over a period of time once you start practicing is that आपके पास एक corner से work ज़्यादा आने लगता है, दूसरे corner से work कम आने लगता है. कई बार ऐसा आप करते हो that you yourself limit your practice, कि आप डे वन से ये डिसाइड करते हो कि हमें सिविल लॉ प्रैक्टिस करना है, आप क्रिमिनल ब्रीफ्स को रिफ्यूज करते हो या अदर वे अराउंड. सो दैट मेक्स यू लॉयर ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर फील्ड. या तो वर्क जनरेशन ऐसा है आपके पास दैट यू गेटिंग वर्क फ्रॉम अ पर्टिकुलर फील्ड, सो यू बिकम मास्टर ऑफ दैट, या फिर आप खुद अपने आप को रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर लेते हो. For me, happily, it happened that got work from all sectors, but yes, I like practicing criminal law, and that's why a major chunk of my practice is criminal law. I practice environmental law also. I'm standing counsel for various government panels in the NGT. But I'm not saying I don't like practicing at the NGT, but I prefer criminal law more. Because that gives me any work that you do, you have to have a certain meatiness to that work to get a certain sense of satisfaction. कि हाँ आज कुछ किया मैंने. So that happens for me with criminal law. So I give preference to those cases.
तो कॉलेज में कोई वो नहीं होता स्पेशलाइजेशन या कोई ऐसा
नहीं, LLM में
point
होता है.
नहीं होता कि आपको
LLM
बोलना
में
पड़ता
होता है. LLB में there is no specialization. LLB the course is common. Once you go in for specialization, suppose you go in for LLM or a PhD or a DLit, in that you can specialize. But the law degree is same for everybody. Everybody does the same law course. There are certain papers which may be added to certain syllabus from for various colleges. Suppose there is a state law college and there is a national law college. So the syllabus might differ.
in general सभी के
More
लिए.
one or two papers might differ, but mostly the LLB degree is common for all lawyers.
तो LLM करने की कोई रिक्वायरमेंट है टू प्रैक्टिस लॉ?
You have to have an LLB degree and you have to get yourself registered with the bar. Once you're registered with the bar, now there is an AIBE exam which you have to clear. हमारे टाइम पे नहीं होता था वो. So you clear that exam and then you sit in the then you get yourself registered and you start practicing. LLM is a sense of specialization that उसके benefits ये हैं. Suppose you don't want to practice, you want to go in for a teaching job. So you do your LLM and then you do your PhD and you start teaching. Or you have to say you want to learn more, then you can do your LLM. But then that happens with us. We keep on reading books.
तो आपके लिए क्या इम्पोर्टेंट होता है एक लॉयर के लिए कि आप एक केस को फाइट करते वक्त आपके क्लाइंट के लिए फाइट करें कि राइट कॉज के लिए फाइट करें? मान लीजिए आपके पास एक क्लाइंट आता है और बोलता है कि मैंने तो एक कमिट किया ही है क्राइम, तो आप उसको डिफेंड करोगे ही कि पहले अपने एथिक्स देखोगे?
See, ethics for a criminal lawyer are that my belief that a crime has been committed by a particular individual should not come in my way of defending that individual. Right? If I've taken a brief, if I've taken fees from a client, or if I've accepted the brief on behalf of a client, then my belief of his or her guilt should not come in the way of defending that particular individual. Because the law of our country is that everybody should be given a chance to defend themselves. Now, if the law is providing them a chance to defend themselves in front of a court, who is a lawyer to refuse the service? And my job is to defend the client to the best of my ability. Then it's up to the judge. If I'm not able to convince the judge can sentence. And that's the job of the judge. That's not the lawyer's job to decide the guilt of an accused or to decide the innocence of an accused. That's the job of the judiciary. We as officers of the court have a duty that yes, we should be honest with the court, but for us the truth of our client is our truth.
नहीं, बट अगर क्लाइंट ही आके बोल रहा है कि मैंने करा है गुनाह,
That depends on the facts. The client may believe that they've committed an offense. Then the client is free to go and confess. The client is always free to go and confess before the court. We won't stop them. We will tell them all their legal options. But we cannot compel them to not confess.
बट कोई क्लियरली आके बोले मैंने तो मर्डर किया है, रेप किया, आप फिर भी उसको डिफेंड करेंगे कि कभी ऐसा कोई केस हुआ कि आप रिफ्यूज करें कि नहीं मैं नहीं?
See, I don't refuse. I generally don't refuse, and nobody should refuse, because so far as the Advocates Act is concerned, so far as the BCI rules are concerned, the practice of ethics for lawyers practicing criminal law is that if a client comes to you in confidence, you have to maintain that confidence. If a client hypothetically tells you that they have committed a particular crime, they are telling you this in confidence. So that confidentiality has to be maintained. मेरे साथ आज तक ऐसा नहीं हुआ है थैंकफुली कि किसी ने आके बोला हो कि आई हैव कमिटेड अ क्राइम. But over a period of time, you get to realize sometimes once the trial is over and once you won, you get to realize that yes, this particular individual did commit the crime. But then that has nothing to do with your job. It's like a doctor operating on a patient and knowing that this particular patient will wake up and kill somebody. The doctor cannot refuse. So we are basically legal doctors. We cannot refuse. It's not our job.
अब मेरे ख्याल से सिर्फ इतना ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट नहीं है ना कि किया है या नहीं किया है किस डिग्री तक किया है उसके अकॉर्डिंगली सजा भी वेरी करेगी. 5
साल 10 साल. It will depend. Like
या...
suppose हम लोग जब लॉ पढ़ते थे, there used to be a trick question. Can you steal your own things? Some things that you own. Suppose you have a watch. So can you steal your own watch?
बड़ा ट्रिक क्वेश्चन है कोई.
Now you give your watch for repair. Then you go to the shop, you see that the watch has been repaired, and without making the payment, you take your watch. That's theft. You are still the owner of that watch. But you've not paid the man who repaired the watch. So till that time, that watch is in bailment with that particular individual who has been given the task of repairing. And you've committed theft. So you don't even know that you've committed theft. And strictly speaking, the definition of theft is such that this will not be treated as theft, but it is theft.
हाँ तो अब है कि नहीं अब परसेप्शन
उसमें तो बहुत ज्यादा घुस सकते हैं कि सर्विसेज का थेफ्ट करा कि क्या कर. हाँ
कुछ ऐसे कॉम्प्लिकेटेड केसेस में लोगों को सच्चाई बताने में एक लॉयर को ही कितना टाइम लगता है और आप कैसे जज कर पाते हैं कि अभी इसने मुझे पूरी बात बताई नहीं है.
See, whenever a client comes to me, I tell the client that don't hide anything from me. आपको अपने लॉयर से या अपने डॉक्टर से कोई भी चीज छुपानी नहीं चाहिए. The moment you hide something and I'm blindsided because of that in the court while defending you, then it's on you. I will do my utmost to defend you to the best of my ability, but then that duty is cast upon you also as my client, that you do not hide anything from me. If something has been done, if some mistake has happened, suppose a client comes to you suppose it's a rape case. And the client's stand is that it was a consensual thing. If a client hides the fact that sexual intercourse has happened, and I'm blindsided by that while defending, it puts me in a spot. So the client has that duty to tell me that yes, sexual intercourse happened, but it was consensual. And because of these reasons, it was consensual. Or I believed it to be consensual.
कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि क्लाइंट ने आपसे छुपाई है बात एंड फिर कोर्ट में जाके
It happens.
उसके
And
बारे में
then
थोड़ा
for that,
बता सकते हैं?
see, there was this client long back whose car was seized in an NDPS matter. And this man's stand was
NDPS,
Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. So this client's stand was that I'm simply the owner of the car. I was not even arrested from the spot. And the car was being driven by somebody else who was an acquaintance. And the other people who were arrested in the case, they were also not related with the client. But then what the client, I won't say hid from me, omitted or rather ignored to tell me was that in the car there were compartments in which this contraband was hidden. And yes, the client was also not aware that these compartments have been made because the person who was driving the car, he had taken the car from the client and he had gotten these compartments made over a period of 3 or 4 months. And in those compartments, this contraband was being smuggled. Now, because of this particular error on the part of this client, he had to suffer. Because Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act has a provision of presumption that if a drug is seized from a vehicle, then there is a presumption against the registered owner that the owner had a knowledge that this drug is being trafficked. Now, recently, there has been a Supreme Court judgment, Biswajit Day versus State of Assam, in which they've given certain criteria where vehicle owner cannot be prosecuted. But this was not back then. I am talking about 2010, sorry. And it was one of the first cases of Bhopal STF. 106 किलो ओपियम सीज हुआ था.
एक अदरवाइज क्वेश्चन आ रहा है दिमाग में कि जो नार्कोटिक्स के जो पर्टिकुलर लॉज हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल कोई रिक्रिएशनल उसमें पकड़ा गया से पुलिस के सामने, क्या करना चाहिए उसको?
See, recreational, there is a provision in the law, in the act, there is a schedule that a certain quantity, which is not a commercial quantity. Commercial quantity agar hai, to then it becomes a non-bailable offense. If it's not a commercial quantity, वो defined है उसमें act में, you need to go through the act for that. Because there are a lot of things which are considered contraband. I can't comment on a particular thing right now. If it's not a commercial quantity and you are caught with that, you can always tell the police that it's recreational, but then that's still an offense. But agar, God forbid, if something like that happens, don't own up. You have to say that it's not yours.
जैसे कि दीपिका पादुकोण ने कहा था जब वो सुशांत का जो मर्डर आत्महत्या / आत्महत्या केस जो था, तो तब कुछ आया था, तो समथिंग अबाउट कुछ वीड वगैरह का कुछ मेंशन था, तो उसने कहा नहीं तो सिगरेट्स हैं, हम तो सिगरेट्स को वीड ही बोलते हैं, है ना? एग्जैक्टली ये हुआ था. आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट शी वाज
see that all this has started happening because of something we refer to as a media trial. So because of the media's intervention in high profile cases, the media has now started creating perceptions for or against the accused. And mostly it's against the accused.
जो मसाला वही है.
Abhi jaise recently there has been a conviction in RG Kar medical college case, right? The day that particular man was arrested, everybody knew that this particular man has committed the offense. You've not seen the facts, you've not seen the file, you've not seen the evidence, and you believe that the particular individual has committed an offense.
वो तो हमारी मीडिया एनीवेज ही बहुत मिसलीडिंग है.
तो आप ultimately, once that is done, once the judgment is rendered, suppose this man was acquitted, आप कोर्ट को बुरा बोलते. Injustice has happened. मीडिया ने तो हमको बताया था कि इसने रेप किया है. You should be very slow in jumping to conclusions because you have not been presented with all the facts of the case. Even as a lawyer, if I'm not presented with the entire facts of the case, जैसे आप बोल रहे हैं कि somebody has committed rape and somebody comes to you, or murder or dacoity and comes to you. It happens in families also. Some families which have one lawyer, you go to the lawyer and you start berating them. How can you defend this particular individual? They've committed such and such heinous act. And my response is that you've not seen the file. You've not seen the charge sheet that the police has prepared. You've not heard the version of the accused because that is never presented. Our media is such that they will never present the version of the accused. They'll only present the version of the police. And what is that leading to over a period of so many years that this has been going on is that now the police has started becoming immune. और आप उसको realize तब तक नहीं करेंगे जब तक something like that doesn't happen with you. Suppose you are falsely implicated in a particular case, only then you will understand what kind of abuse sometimes the police does. And what advantages of loopholes the police takes just to frame a particular individual. I'm not saying in this particular case this has happened because now the judgment has come, so we have to honor the judgment. But this public perception that is created about any accused, that has to stop. And courts have to take certain suo motu cognizance that if till the time the trial is going on, at least till then, you stop the reporting of that particular crime, especially if it's a high profile crime.
कोई इसके खिलाफ कोई जजमेंट वगैरह नहीं है कि करना चाहिए
Nothing there,
नहीं करना चाहिए?
वो
फिर मीडिया की
freedom-
बात आ जाएगी
freedom
freedom
of
of
वही
expression के नाम
constitutional
पे
वो है ना conflict.
freedom of expression के नाम पे हम वो करते हैं, but then that leads to a lot of bias. There has to be a certain balance. I mean, the fundamental rights that are there in the constitution, there are certain fundamental rights of the accused also. The accused also has a right to a fair trial. Thankfully, we now don't have a jury system. पर हमारे यहाँ अगर जूरी सिस्टम होता तो आज की डेट में मोस्ट ऑफ द अक्यूज्ड हैव बीन गॉन टू जेल.
हाँ, तो आप जैसे वही मेंशन कर रहे थे रेप केस का, आपके क्लाइंट ने आपको बोला कि ये नहीं कंसेंशुअल एक्ट ही था, बट उसके खिलाफ सब्सटैंशियल एविडेंस है कि वो रेप ही था, तो आप उस केस में कैसे डील करते हैं?
Then it's upon me to break that evidence in cross-examination. Cross-examination is the most formidable arsenal in the weapon in the arsenal of criminal lawyer.
स्टिल आप उसी व्यू पॉइंट से चलेंगे जो आपके क्लाइंट ने आपको
Evidence
बताया?
is prepared by the police. Evidence is prepared by the police. Witnesses, their statements are recorded by the police. See, even if it's a consensual act, what will be there? The evidence will be similar in most cases to, say, a genuine rape case. The evidence in a consensual sexual act and the evidence in a rape case is mostly same, unless and until it's a violent act. Unless and until it's a violent act. So how do you differentiate? That has to be done in the court during cross-examination of that particular woman. And yes, there are safeguards for the woman because courts have said that certain questions cannot be asked to a woman during cross-examination. In my opinion, that's unfair to the accused. Because you can say whatever you want against the accused. And I, as a defense attorney, am limited in my scope of cross-examination because of various dictates of the Honorable Supreme Court or various high courts. There are certain questions which I cannot ask. And that limits my scope of defense. But then I have to circumvent those, for lack of a better word, those loopholes. And I have to ask certain questions which will ultimately prove the innocence.
And is there any level of case by case where you can ask the judge for permission to allow a question given the situation?
What happens in certain cases is that the court may disallow a particular question or stop the lawyer from asking a particular question. In that case, what we do is that we tell the court that you write our question in the deposition sheet and then you disallow it. So that once the matter goes in appeal, we have that scope of telling the higher court that this question we had asked and the court refused us to ask this question and no answer came. Had an answer come to this particular question, my accused would have had the advantage.
अपन ने पुलिस के बारे में थोड़ा डिस्कशन किया एंड काफी लॉयर्स ये बताते हैं एंड इनफैक्ट आई थिंक जनरल जनता का भी ओपिनियन है कि पुलिस वाले ऑनेस्ट नहीं होते. इनफैक्ट हमने एक पॉडकास्ट किया था डॉक्टर अरुणा मोहन राव के साथ जो रिटायर्ड आईपीएस हैं एंड उनका भी जवाब था कि हाँ पुलिस को अपनी परसेप्शन इमेज सुधारने में थोड़ी वो करनी चाहिए. एंड ये हमने उसमें भी देखा था अतुल सुभाष केस में कि पुलिस ही लगी हुई है साथ में डंडा देने अतुल सुभाष को कि भाई पुलिस क्या जज भी इन्वॉल्व थे उसमें, उन्होंने जज के भी नाम लिए. तो आपके ओपिनियन में पुलिस कितनी डिसऑनेस्ट है या ऑनेस्ट है?
देखिए 100% डिसऑनेस्ट तो कोई नहीं होता. देयर आर गुड ऑफिसर्स एंड देन देयर आर करप्ट ऑफिसर्स आल्सो एंड देन देयर आर not necessarily corrupt but incompetent and bad officers. So sometimes the persecution of an accused happens because of an incompetent officer who's not competent enough to investigate the case. But they're given that case for investigation and in their incompetence, they botch up the case. And then there have been instances like way back when I was I had started my practice, I think it was 2011. I had just become an independent practitioner. I had left the chamber of my senior, Mr. Ajay Gupta. He's a senior advocate. I was practicing with him for two and a half years, and then I became independent in say 2012, 11 or 12. I got this case. There was a very famous restaurant owner at Jawar Chowk, Bhopal. He was murdered. And the evidence was that two people came on a bike and the pillion rider shot this particular individual, and then the bike took off. And nobody was arrested from the spot. And this was at 11:30, 12 at night. There were no eyewitnesses. And this was a high-profile case because this restaurant owner was politically connected to both the major political parties of the city. And there was a lot of pressure on the police. So what happened is that the police prepared a case that they'd received a certain tip. And based on that tip, they raided the premises of the MPEB office at Tinshed, or rather PNT Chauraha. उस वक्त वहाँ पे झुग्गियाँ हुआ करती थी. Now there's this smart city hospital over there. So at that time there were slums over there. Slums of these ironsmiths. So they raided the premises, and in the premises they found 8 or 9 people who were preparing to commit dacoity at a particular house. And these 8 or 9 people were rounded up, and all these people were between the ages of 19 to 20, 23, young people. And then the police said that we investigated, and during interrogation in this particular case, which was a case for preparation to commit dacoity, all these people confessed that they were involved in that particular murder. So the police then filed 2 charge sheets. One was for preparation to commit dacoity and one was for murder.
तुम सभी ने एडमिट कर लिया, हमने किया.
As per the police. During the cross-examination, the police was not able to prove the murder charge because there was no eyewitness, and they had no criminal antecedents except 1 or 2 accused in this array of 8 people, 9 people. None of them had any criminal background. College-going students who were arrested. During the cross-examination of the investigating officer in the dacoity case, the case was that they were planning to commit dacoity. So they were sitting with maps of that particular house, and they were drinking alcohol, and they were eating certain chuda and all. And all this was seized from the spot. I was able to demolish the entire case during my cross-examination, but on a whim, I just requested the judge that I want to see those alcohol bottles, which was seized. Just on a whim. And the judge chided me also that why do you want to go into that? The case is already done. I said, sir, just allow me. If I'll just simply see the bottle, if there's nothing there, I won't ask. But I just want to see them once. So this bottle and this chuda and those maps were all brought in the court. उसको कोर्ट की लैंग्वेज में मुद्दा माल बोलते हैं. Case property. This was brought. Seals were opened, and this bottle, 4 or 5 bottles were taken out of that bag. This incident has happened in September, and these bottles have been manufactured in December. So this was a clear case in which the police has planted evidence. And you've spoiled the careers of 8 or 9 people. Because now whenever a crime happens, these people are rounded up because now they have a criminal background.
तो रियलिटी क्या हुई होगी कि वो उनके ऐसा कुछ हुआ ही नहीं.
Reality ये थी, murder हुआ. But these people didn't commit. They were not involved.
डंडे मार मार के लिखवा लिया कि
Because there was pressure on the police. Political pressure on the police. That you have to make an arrest. How can you let people go free and give them free rein to kill anybody? And this happens with the police. I have sympathy for the police for the atmosphere in which they work. There is a lot of pressure. The kind of working hours that they have, it's dehumanizing at times. But then that doesn't give you the right to fabricate evidence and implicate people who are innocent. because that's an even bigger crime. Because उसमें दो चीजें होती हैं, आपने एक इनोसेंट को तो फंसा दिया, आपने गिल्टी को भी छोड़ा, क्योंकि चार्जशीट तो आपने एक किसी के अगेंस्ट पेश कर दी और आपके हिसाब से उसने क्राइम किया.
और आपने जैसे अब ये लोग भी हैं, तो पहले तो इनके ऊपर डकैती का चार्ज लग गया, मर्डर का भी चार्ज लग गया, बाद में कोर्ट ने क्विटल दे दिया कि ठीक है नहीं किया, पर उन बेचारों की तो गई ना लाइफ. क्या
हाँ,
करेंगे
तो
अब?
this particular client of mine, he was troubled by the police and he was not even from Bhopal, he was from Itarsi. He was troubled by the police for a period of 5 or 6 years. 5-6 साल तक उसके मेरे पास कॉल्स आए हैं कि भैया मुझे पुलिस बुला रही है इस पर्टिकुलर केस में, मुझे पुलिस बुला रही है इस पर्टिकुलर केस में.
तो पुलिस के अगेंस्ट इन केसेस में एक्शन नहीं लिया था जैसे
होना
ये केस
चाहिए.
था, बट कुछ उनको
पर
हड़काया
नहीं
नहीं
होता.
गया, कुछ भी
कुछ
नहीं
नहीं
हुआ.
होता. No, not even strictures.
देयर इज नथिंग अगेंस्ट इट. जैसे ये चीज इतनी सामने आ गई,
नहीं, I requested the judge. I requested the judge that, my lord, this has happened and it's clear that this evidence was planted. Please, certain strictures should be issued. Nothing was done.
दिस इज नॉट फेयर.
It's not fair, but then what can you do? And the greatest loophole, this particular accused doesn't even have a right to file anything against the police. All that you can do is that you can file a civil suit for malicious prosecution.
तो उसको प्रूव करना कितना मुश्किल होगा कि इन्होंने.
Because then the police will always say that this was our opinion. The court left them, but this was our opinion.
एक वो भी तो होता है स्पेशली जितने हाई प्रोफाइल केसेस में, जैसे हमारे यहाँ पे कोई विटनेस प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट इतना कोई रिजीम है नहीं. तो जैसे कोई बहुत पावरफुल पर्सन के अगेंस्ट कोई विटनेसेस होते हैं, तो जैसे हम तो मूवीज में ही देखते हैं कि बिफोर कमिंग इनटू कोर्ट कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता है, कोई मर जाता है, कोई गायब हो जाता है, बहुत कुछ ऐसा हो जाता है. और चाहे उनको पुलिस प्रोटेक्शन दी भी जाती है, बट कोई ना कोई ऐसा ही पुलिस ऑफिसर दिया जाता है जो खुद ही भाग जाए. तो इन केसेस में क्या होता है?
भोपाल में तो अभी तक थैंकफुली ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं है. दिस हैपेंस इन places like in the state of UP. Sometimes this happens that protection has to be given to the witnesses. Here, thankfully, this has not happened till now. But witness protection, like you rightly said, there is no specific module for witness protection in India. Like in the US, there is this scheme of witness protection where the names of the witnesses change and they are given a certain house outside where they ordinarily live, and then
Relocated,
after the
basically.
case, yes, they are relocated. But nothing like that happens in India.
कि वो आसाराम बापू के ही केस में चीज हुआ था कि
हाँ.
देयर वर अराउंड 9-10 विटनेसेस, 5-6 का मर्डर हो गया था, 2-3 गायब हो गए थे.
It's happened in Vyapam also. There have been 41 suspicious deaths, if I'm not mistaken. 41 suspicious deaths, and all of them have been held to be just deaths. I mean, they simply died.
Not even like any.
Nothing, no
Any
investigation.
wrongdoing,
They simply
nothing.
died.
41 तो बहुत बड़ा नंबर है ये. आई
हम्म.
थिंक बहुत लोगों को तो पता भी नहीं होगा.
And they simply, somebody fell from a train, died. Because then all the powers that be conspire to save the particular individual. But that's not there for ordinary people who are prosecuted.
तो अगर किसी पावरफुल इंसान ने कुछ क्राइम कमिट भी किया है तो भूल जाओ कि उसको कुछ सजा मिलने वाली.
मिलती है, ऐसा नहीं है. There have been instances in our country where even ministers have been prosecuted. In fact, very early on in my career, I got the chance to argue a bail matter. Although ultimately, उसमें हाई कोर्ट ने FIR क्वॉश कर दी उस मैटर में. But a former minister of the state was accused of sodomy. Sodomy is anal intercourse by a servant of that former minister. And
मतलब उन्होंने मेल सर्वेंट का रेप किया था ऐसा वो कह रहा था, victim
मेल
कह रहा था.
सर्वेंट का ये कहना था that I have been sodomized, and I got a chance to represent the victim while objecting to the bail, and bail was denied. So that happens. Even if it's a high profile case, it happens. There have been instances where ministers have been imprisoned. I mean, former chief ministers have been imprisoned. It's not always that injustice like this happens. But yes, sadly, there are instances where people from a place of power, it's very difficult to prosecute them.
Because people who come from a place of power, they will also get in contact with lawyers who are at the topmost. अब उन्हीं से ही लड़ने की कोई हिम्मत ना रखे. They will be so good at their work.
But then there is a flip side to that also. I mean, if you talk to me, if I get a chance ever to defend or to prosecute a certain individual against a big shot lawyer, I will not let that chance go. Because then if I win the case, that's a big cap.
Or win or lose, but any publicity is publicity.
Any
At least that
publicity
will
is
be a high
publicity.
profile case and
Any
your
publicity.
name will be
Like
all
this
over
particular
the...
case that I'm talking about, the bail got rejected, but ultimately the person was acquitted. But then at the time, at the stage at which the bail got rejected, I was arguing the objection to the bail against the biggest criminal lawyer of the city at that time, Mr. Dharmendra Verma. He's not there anymore. He was a brilliant lawyer, one of the most dignified lawyers that I've seen, brilliant in his work, and one of the senior most lawyers. I mean, the day he passed away, I think he would have had 65, 70 years of practice. So I got to argue against him. So it was a privilege for me also. But then I won that beef.
कोर्ट्स के बारे में सबसे बड़ा क्रिटिसिज्म रहता है कि तारीख पे तारीख ही मिलती है. एंड हमने रेणु शर्मा जी जो रिटायर्ड डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज हैं उनसे करी थी बात, तो उन्होंने एक फ्लिप साइड भी दी, क्योंकि जनरली आप कहोगे कि जज दे रहे हैं, कहते हैं वकीलों से भी तो पूछो, वकील खुद ही आ जाते हैं डेट मांगने. एंड ये तो मैंने पर्सनली देखा है. रिसेंटली हमारा भी यहाँ पे कमर्शियल कोर्ट में एक मैटर था, एंड जो दूसरे तरफ से जो वकील था, कितना उसने टाइम निकाल दिया फालतू का, मतलब लिटरली कोर्ट का टाइम बर्बाद किया. एंड आई थिंक जज ऑल्सो फेल्ट कि उन्होंने कोर्ट का टाइम बर्बाद किया. हमें तो लग ही रहा था, क्योंकि फिर हमारे फेवर में भी आया केस. तो इसमें कितना रोल जजेस का होता है? बिकॉज ये तो अब हम भी जानते हैं कि जिसमें आपको लगता है स्टैंड थोड़ा वीक है, तो यार तारीख ले लो यार.
मैं ये नहीं कहूंगा कि सिर्फ जजेस का रोल है, या सिर्फ लॉयर्स का रोल है, या सिर्फ लिटिगेंट्स का रोल है. It's a well-oiled machinery that works cohesively. So everybody is responsible. Suppose an adjournment is being sought, the judge always has that power to refuse the adjournment. हम जज का हाथ पकड़ के उससे ऑर्डर नहीं लिखवा सकते. That authority is with the judge only. You can refuse the adjournment. That authority is not with the lawyer. The lawyer can do all that the lawyer wants to seek the adjournment, but then ultimately that authority, that pen to write that order is of the judge. And it's very easy for judges to blame lawyers, because ultimately there is no Contempt of Lawyers Act. There is only Contempt of Court Act. You can say whatever you want against lawyers. We are bound by a certain code of ethics. We cannot comment about the integrity of judges. It's very easy to blame lawyers. I mean, अगर adjournment हो रहा है, मैं मांग रहा हूँ अगर adjournment, तो I am doing what my client has asked me to do. अगर आप adjournment oppose कर रहे हो, तो आप अपने client के लिए कर रहे हो. Ultimately तो judge को decide करना है ना. Decide तो judge ही करेगा. Lawyers don't decide. So you refuse the adjournment if you feel that a delay is being done for an unjustifiable reason.
लेकिन अगर वो रिफ्यूज कर दे और बाद में वो अपील में बोल दे कि मेरे को टाइम ही नहीं दिया प्रिपेयर करने के लिए,
there also that appeal also has to be decided by the judge. My point is that ultimately the authority to decide anything in a court of law is the judiciary. That power will and shall always be with the judges. That power will never be with the lawyers. So it's with all my humility on my part, it's a bit irresponsible to say that lawyers are to be blamed. Yes, I won't say that lawyers are justified always in seeking adjournments, but then ultimately we are doing our jobs.
और वो एक टूल है अब आपके हाथ में, जो टूल है आप यूज तो करोगे.
That is the only arsenal we have. And sometimes we are actually justified because once you have a certain years of practice, once you have a certain workload, it's very difficult to qualitatively perform in every case. So suppose I have been arguing since 11 in the morning and I reach a particular case at say 4:35 p.m. I'm actually exhausted. And if I argue in that state of mind, I may miss out on certain points. So I may be committing a disservice to my client. And my duty is to the court, yes, but my first duty is to the client.
Of course.
ये चीजें आपको पर्सनली अफेक्ट करती हैं?
करती हैं, करना चाहिए नहीं, but we are human beings. It happens. Personally affect करता है, but then see, that's the job that you've chosen. So even if it personally affects you, you have to ultimately get your boots on and work.
मोटी खाल तो हो ही जाती होगी।
होना
वकालत
चाहिए
करते
भी,
हुए, हाँ।
होना चाहिए भी। आपको पर्सनली चीजों को लेना नहीं चाहिए। आप एडजर्नमेंट की बात कर रहे थे। आई वाज डिफेंडिंग अ केस, इट वाज अ मैट्रिमोनियल मैटर। तो माय वाइफ आल्सो हैपेंस टू बी अ लॉयर एंड शी अकम्पनीड विद me in that particular case on that day, and I told her इस केस में मेरे साथ मत आना because my client was the man and I was defending against a woman. Once you're defending against a woman in a matrimonial case, you have to tread very carefully because उसकी भी एक dignity है, आपको उसको respect करते हुए चलना है। वो हमारी dignity के साथ चाहे कुछ भी कर ले। So once I got the adjournment, I was coming out and this woman, she comes blasting. वकील चोर होते हैं सबके सब और इनका भी तलाक हो जाना चाहिए और ऐसा। And my wife was in shock कि क्या बोल रही है। I told you, don't come with me in this particular case. But that happens. I mean, you have to be thick-skinned because, and this is a very small example that I'm giving you what all happens to lawyers in courts. इससे बहुत बुरा होता है।
नहीं तो वैसे भी कोर्ट रूम इज द अल्टीमेट हार जीत, और कोई को भी हारना पसंद नहीं है, तो हारने वाला गाली तो सुनाएगा ही, चाहे वो गुनहगार हो, कितना भी गिल्टी हो, उसको
बहुत
पता
बुरा इससे होता है। एंड आपको कुछ नहीं, दैट्स योर जॉब। आई मीन, आप इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू कोप विद दैट, यू लीव दैट। आप कहीं लॉ पढ़ा लो, work in a low pressure environment if you can't handle the pressure.
Internal counsel ban jao,
Yes.
corporate counsel.
Yes,
There's many
become
options.
a corporate counsel. But if you're not able to handle the pressure, don't do the job because then ultimately you will be doing a disservice to the client.
मुझे तो अभी दिमाग में आ रहा था, आप ये बता रहे थे मैट्रिमोनियल टू डिवोर्स का केस। रेप केसेस में क्या होता होगा जब आप किसी को डिफेंड कर रहे हो?
होता है। There was a case. Again, this was a very interesting case. The girl was 16 and a half years. The boy was 18 and a half years. And they developed a relationship. They eloped with each other, went to Indore, got married. Of course, the marriage was not valid because the girl was a minor. They got married in Mandir. And then from that temple, they went to a particular house, lived there for about 6 months. And because they had eloped, the boy's parents were also searching for the boy. The girl's parents were searching for the girl. And ultimately, the girl's parents learned that this has happened. And they lodged an FIR that my daughter has been kidnapped. The police investigated. The police went to Indore, arrested both of them from the same flat, brought them here. Ultimately, under the pressure of the family, the girl said that I was raped. And because it was a minor child, 16 and a half years of age, POCSO Act was also put in place. Prevention of sexual abuse for children. The act related to that. So, my defense was one, that the girl was not 16 and a half years of age. She was elder than that. To quite an extent, I was able to prove that also because there was no medical report so far as age of the girl was concerned. There were only papers from her school or college, school rather, that the mark sheet that you have. So during the cross-examination, I was able to establish that this particular mark sheet is from a school where the age has been given to the school by the parents. So कुछ भी लिख दिया होगा आपने. But then ultimately the court was not convinced so far as the age was concerned, and the girl and the boy was convicted for the charge of rape. For all other charges, for kidnapping and abduction, assault and everything, the boy was acquitted. Because वो prove नहीं हो पाया. Sexual intercourse prove हुआ. And the court held that the girl was a minor, and even if there was a consent, this was a rape case. Now, this was, in my opinion, a miscarriage of justice because it was a purely consensual act. But then this happened because the laws are such. The judge, after rendering the judgment, happened to meet me in a corridor in the court 4 or 5 days after that, and it was the judge's words that my hands were tied. You contested a very good case, but then all the offenses that I could acquit your client in, I acquitted, but then the law is such that I could not go beyond the law. And during the cross examination, this girl tells me, आपकी बेटी के साथ हुआ होता तो कैसा लगता आपको? I did not have a daughter, but then suppose you're cross examining and you have a daughter, it hits you hard.
Yeah.
Even then it hit me hard. But then you have to get back into the groove and then do your job.
फीमेल्स के लिए लॉज तो बहुत अच्छे बन रहे हैं, बट लड़कियां उसका मिसयूज भी बहुत करती हैं. जैसे अभी आई डोंट नो वो सच है कि नहीं है, कुछ वो इंस्टाग्राम पे ही देखा था कि एक नया लॉ बना है लड़कियों के लिए कि अगर आप एक रिलेशनशिप में हो और लड़के ने आपको बोला है कि मैं आपसे शादी करूंगा और नहीं करता है तो उसको 10 साल की सजा हो सकती है. कोई भी लड़कियां कितना ही मिसयूज कर लेंगी ये लॉ को. कितने ऐसे लॉज बनते हैं लड़कियों की प्रोटेक्शन के लिए, बट लड़कियां उनको मिसयूज. डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस को ही ले लो, कितना मिसयूज होता है.
सेक्शन 69 इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ है अभी भारतीय न्याय संहिता, जो आईपीसी को रिप्लेस करके बनाई गई है. तो दैट सेक्शन 69 punishes sexual intercourse with the intent by making a false promise to marry, and that's always open to misuse because false promise आप कैसे प्रूव करोगे?
अब बहुत सारी चीजें अब ये कानून में थोड़ी तो ओपन एंडेड होती हैं और वहीं पे एक अटर्नी और जज का डिस्क्रेशन दे दिया जाता है कि आप कितना उसको प्रूव करा पाओ. इंटेंट प्रूव करना और कैसे रिटन में क्या है, और क्यों इसमें फिर वही होगा, टेक्स्ट पे जाएगी बात, कितना उसमें
आई थिंक इंटेंट खास तौर पे ना बहुत मुश्किल है.
हाँ, इंटेंट मुश्किल है, और उसका रीजन ये है that laws in our country have always been made to provide power to a particular sect. Like labor laws हमारे यहाँ बने तो उसके पीछे legislative intent था that we have to empower the labor class of the country because उनके साथ the employers do a lot of injustice. Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Protection Act बना, तो the legislative intent was to provide power to the SC/ST community. Laws regarding women that have been made, Domestic Violence Act or any other act that you name. When the intent is to provide power to a particular sect of the country, that law will always be open to misuse. The parliament in its wisdom decides to enact a particular provision. In its wisdom, it should also have this legislative acumen to put in place checks and balances. वो नहीं होता हमारे यहाँ.
एज सिंपल एज SC/ST कोटा में जैसे स्कूल और कॉलेजेस में एडमिशन होती है, उसी का ही कितना मिसयूज हो जाता है.
मिसयूज तो अब वो तो खैर एडमिशंस हैं, वो तो प्रोविजंस ही हैं. उसको आप वो प्रोविजन इम्प्लीमेंट अगर हो रहा है, आप ये कह सकते हो कि मेरिट्स पे एडमिशन नहीं होते, बट दैट्स समथिंग दैट द स्कूल्स डू. लॉ में कई बार ऐसा होता है दैट झगड़ा हुआ है और मुझे पता भी नहीं है कि सामने वाला शेड्यूल कास्ट या शेड्यूल ट्राइब का है, बट वो जाके FIR कर देगा एंड आई विल बी प्रोसिक्यूटेड फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर ऑफेंस इन दैट पर्टिकुलर एक्ट.
नहीं तो ये मेरे डैड इस चीज पे बहुत इंसिस्टेंट रहते हैं. दैट्स वन ऑफ द बिग थिंग व्हेन हायरिंग स्टाफ एंड ऑल, देयर सो मेनी प्रोविजंस, तो ही रिफ्यूजेस एकदम कि
वो भी नहीं होना चाहिए. सी आई एम all
नहीं, but this
for
is internal, like resident, domestically, not in the business
anywhere.
sense,
See, वो होता यही है, ये उसका flip side होता है. Once abuse starts happening, like Harassment in Workplaces Act आप लाए, this will ultimately prove counterproductive for women, because then people will stop hiring women. यार कल को फंसा दिया तो ये काउंटर प्रोडक्टिव होता है. दैट इज व्हाई आई एम सेइंग दैट द पार्लियामेंट शुड ऑलवेज प्लेस चेक्स एंड बैलेंसेस इन द एक्ट इटसेल्फ. आप ठीक है, आपने अथॉरिटी तो दे दी एक पर्टिकुलर सेक्ट को कि आप जाके एफआईआर कर दीजिए. अगर झूठी एफआईआर है तो क्या? If I have that certain assurance that if I am falsely implicated, I also have a certain legal remedy, and that is also a criminal remedy. That check and balance being there will still be certain scope कि हाँ अब misuse नहीं होगा. All laws are amenable to misuse, but there will be still a certain aspect of fear कि I may be taken to task.
करप्शन लॉयर्स कितना वो कर सकते हैं? लॉयर के पास भी कितनी पावर होती है कि किसी केस में अगर उसको मैनिपुलेट करना चाहे केस को, या फिर कोर्ट रूम में मैनिपुलेशन करना चाहे, तो इफ कैन अ लॉयर सपोर्ट और मतलब enable corruption in a case?
Enable corruption का तो देखिए ऐसा है कि corruption आप किसको कहेंगे? Defending your client is not corruption. Fabricating evidence is. But then I won't say that there is no scope of fabricating evidence so far as a lawyer is concerned, but that scope is very limited, especially in a police case, because ultimately एक charge sheet file हो गई है. चार्ज शीट तो फाइल्ड है, वो पुलिस ने की है, वो लॉयर ने नहीं की है, प्रोसिक्यूटर ने नहीं की है. मैं डिफेंस की तरफ से अगर आर्ग्यू कर रहा हूं तो वट एवर एविडेंस आई हैव, दैट मच कंट्रोल आई हैव ऑन दैट एविडेंस. बट देन इफ इट्स फैब्रिकेटेड, माई क्लाइंट विल अगेन सफर. सो एज अ लॉयर आई विल नेवर एडवाइज माई क्लाइंट टू फैब्रिकेट एविडेंस.
But what about improper defense? कि अब आपका हाई प्रोफाइल केस चल रहा है, सामने वाली पार्टी ने लॉयर को ही वो कर दिया कि इसको ढंग से डिफेंड मत कर,
होता है,
ज्यादा मत घुस आर्गुमेंट्स
होता
में,
है,
छोड़।
that happens, but then that is where your dignity and your integrity comes into play. There are various external factors, financial as well as threats that lawyers receive, but then that is where your integrity comes into play. If you bow down to all these things, then you are again in the wrong profession.
एक उनका कहना था रेणु शर्मा जी का कि बहुत बार लॉयर्स ऐसा करते हैं कि अगर मान लो केस देखा, उनको पता है यार ये तो जीतना ही है, फिर बोलेंगे सामने वाले को कि यार जज को तो पैसा देना पड़ेगा एक्स्ट्रा, मतलब इस पर्टिकुलर केस में पैसा ही देने पड़ेंगे, तो उससे लेके रख ली, और पता है कि और अगर मान लो जस्ट इन केस उल्टा हो जाएगा तो पैसे वापस कर दो.
तो अल्टीमेटली ये पैसे देता कौन है?
क्लाइंट.
आप मत दो ना.
मुझे तो लगता है आजकल जो स्थिति है, क्लाइंट खुद ही बोलता होगा यार जज को सेट कर लो भले ही.
Then if you are good at your job, you should have that confidence that no matter what, no matter who is sitting on the bench, you will be able to provide a good defense to your client. It has happened with me that clients have come to me that please approach the judge. I always tell my clients that this is not my job, and this is not what you've come to me for. And ultimately, if you're telling me to approach the judge, you are doubting my caliber. So it's better that you take your file to some other lawyer. And there have been instances where against my instructions, the clients have supposedly approached judges, and decisions have been rendered against them in spite of that. And in appeal, I've won then without any influence. So this happens, but then you cannot simply go and blame a lawyer, because ultimately ये client का call होता है. मैं as a lawyer, चलिए मैं अपने client से अगर बोल भी देता हूँ कि मुझे जज को पैसे देने हैं, in my experience this has never happened कि मैंने क्लाइंट से बोला हो, या मैं ऐसा किसी लॉयर को जानता भी नहीं हूँ जिसने अपने क्लाइंट से बोला हो कि आप जज को पैसे दे दो. बट अगर बोला, हाइपोथेटिकली अगर बोला, तो ये क्लाइंट का कॉल है ना. यू आर इंडल्जिंग दैट मैल प्रैक्टिस. अगर इफ यू रिफ्यूज द लॉयर, क्या करेगा लॉयर? आप उस मैल प्रैक्टिस को इंडल्ज करते हो एंड देन यू गो ऑन एंड ब्लेम लॉयर्स फॉर दैट. कोर्ट में आप आए हैं, आप अगर बाबू को पैसा दे रहे हैं या कोर्ट में किसी को भी पैसा दे रहे हैं, अपार्ट फ्रॉम योर लॉयर, जो उसकी लीगल फीस है, अगर आप उसके अलावा कोई पैसा दे रहे हैं या कोर्ट की जो लीगल फीस है उसके अलावा अगर आप पैसा दे रहे हैं, तो आप अपनी कन्वीनियंस के लिए पैसा दे रहे हैं और आप उस मैल प्रैक्टिस को इंडल्ज कर रहे हैं. यू कैन नॉट गो एंड ब्लेम लॉयर्स फॉर दैट.
और आपको कभी किसी पुलिस वाले ने या किसी ने ऐसा प्रेशर देने की कोशिश करी कि ये ना आर्ग्यू करें या ये चीज छोड़ दें, डोंट ब्रिंग दिस अप?
Happens sometimes when we are cross-examining the police officers, they hint at certain threats during the cross-examination. But then again, I mean, you have to grow thick-skinned to that. Happens. Sometimes the police says that, how can you defend this particular individual? ये तो बहुत mild चीज मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको. But होता है.
बट थ्रेट देना और एक्चुअल में चीज हो जाना में फर्क है, तो वो
हो
चीजें भी
सकता
हो
है.
सकती हैं.
That can always be there. There have been instances where lawyers have been assaulted, attacked.
अच्छा.
But then you get up and get back at your job because this is the job that you've chosen, and it's one of the most privileged jobs on the planet, because this is the only job in which sometimes, not always, sometimes you become a part of justice actually being delivered.
हमने जब उनके जो रिटायर्ड आईपीएस हैं डॉक्टर अरुणा मोहन राव, उनके साथ किया था पॉडकास्ट, तो उन्होंने एक चीज़ बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग बताई थी. उन्होंने कहा जब हम बुलाते थे केस डायरीज देखने के लिए, तो उसमें बड़ा ऑब्वियस सा दिख जाता था कि केस एक तरफ जा रहा है, सडनली पता नहीं क्या हुआ, पूरा यू टर्न हो गया केस. तो आपने ऐसा कभी देखा है कि पुलिस एक तरफ लेके जा रही है कि सडनली फिर एविडेंसेस ऐसे आ जाएंगे कि?
केस डायरी, आपने अच्छा बोला. केस डायरी बेसिकली एक प्रिविलेज्ड डॉक्यूमेंट होता है, in a sense that the case diary can be seen by the prosecutor, it can be seen by the judge, it cannot be seen by the defense counsel. There are a very certain strict sets of rules in which the defense counsel can have access to certain portions of the case diary, and it's an unwritten rule that in the case diary the prosecution only has to write things that support the prosecution. They cannot write things that support the defense. So yes, it happens that even if the police gets certain information during investigation that this particular individual has not committed the offense, but the police has to implicate that individual, they will not include that in the case diary.
आई थिंक ये पर्टिकुलरली जो पीएमएलए के जो मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग वाले एक्ट है, उसमें और भी ज्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट प्रोविजंस है कि आपको और एक्सेस नहीं मिलता टू सर्टेन इन्फॉर्मेशन, ऐसा है?
हाँ, basically, see, PMLA तो again, I mean, there are certain laws which are unfair laws. Like PMLA में there is this proceeds of crime. There is a provision called proceeds of crime. Suppose you get certain payments in your account, and that payment is part of a certain amount that has been paid to somebody, and that particular amount was an illicit transaction. Your account will be frozen because that amount, that portion of the payment that has come is part of that illicit transaction.
तो आपका पूरा पूरा
हाँ, पूरा आपका अकाउंट फ्रीज कर देंगे वो. अब आपको पता भी नहीं है कि क्या हुआ है ये. Suppose somebody is indulged in having dealings in black money. वो black money उनके अकाउंट में आया, उन्होंने आपको कुछ पेमेंट किया जो जस्टिफाइड पेमेंट है. अब क्योंकि ये पैसा पुलिस ने उनको अरेस्ट किया, ये पैसा सीज किया, अकाउंट सीज किए, इस अकाउंट से अलग अलग लोगों को पेमेंट्स गए, उस पैसे का पार्ट है ये. So your accounts will then become circumspect, and then those accounts will be frozen through no fault of your own.
आपने कहा मैं तो कुछ,
And you simply will have to then fight it out that you were not aware of what this money is. You will have to then justify why this particular amount was paid to you, and that is where this so-called abuse of process or abuse of police power comes into play, because then there is a discretion that the police has. They may freeze your accounts, they may not freeze your accounts.
Oh.
That's up to the police.
तो ये तो यूपीआई वगैरह के लिए भी काफी भयंकर, कि पहले कैश बेस्ड इकोनॉमी में कम से कम ये छोटी मोटी चीज में नहीं इन्वॉल्व होगा, बट आजकल यूपीआई और इसमें तो पता नहीं कितने लोग को कितने ट्रांसफर्स जाते हैं
होता ही है. One of my acquaintances, an amount was paid to them at their place of work, which was a 1/16th layer of an illicit transaction. So 1/16th, you understand, one payment is made, then from that another payment is made, and then from that till 16 layers of transaction, payments are made. On the 16th layer, this particular individual received an amount which was not even 100 rupees, and their account was frozen.
Oh.
अरे बाप रे, ये तो
And they were harassed by the police.
अब्यूज ऑफ पावर ही है.
Because the provision is such. आप abuse of power कब करोगे? जब power आपके पास है. तो law का provision आपने ऐसा बनाया है.
एकदम अंधा कानून.
तो अब जब यूज ऑफ पावर की बात हो रही, मिस यूज ऑफ पावर की बात हो रही है, तो आईपीसी और बीएनएस, तो जो इंडियन पीनल कोड और भारतीय न्याय संहिता, इसमें फर्क क्या है? और इसको इतना पब्लिसाइज किया गया कि ये तो पुराने उनके क्या कहते हैं, अंग्रेजों के जमाने के थे नियम, और अब हमने उसको चेंज कर दिया है. तो इसमें चेंज क्या है?
देखिए, चेंज तो बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है, एंड certain times it happens that a government wants to leave behind a legacy. So I think more than leaving behind the British legacy, it's an attempt for the government to create their own legacy. क्योंकि आपने जो भी चेंजेस आप कह रहे हो कि हम चेंजेस लाए हैं, वो चेंजेस आप सिंपल एक आईपीसी में या सीआरपीसी में या एविडेंस एक्ट में एक अमेंडमेंट करके आप कर सकते थे. You were not required to bring in an entire act, because most of the BNS or the BNSS or the Evidence Act, New Evidence Act, is almost similar to what the old acts were. आपने बेसिक कुछ चीजें, जैसे क्वीन वर्ड आपने हटा दिया है, ब्रिटिश एम्पायर आपने हटा दिया, ठीक है, all that is fine, but that could have been done by way of an amendment. You could have deleted all that, and whatever you wanted to add, you could have added all that. New acts were not required. In fact, in the new acts, you've added certain provisions which are actually very draconian. Like there is a definition of terrorist act in the BNS, section 113, I think. Terrorist act mein, suppose there is a political rally. Political rally mein, sometimes tempers get furiated and you start breaking stuff. अब आपने कोई public property तोड़ दी. Imprisonment for that is from 5 years till life imprisonment.
तो नॉन बेलेबल भी हो गया.
नॉन बेलेबल. Now, can you imagine destruction of public property can be punished for an imprisonment of up to life imprisonment? Is it such a serious offense? Yes, it is an offense. I'm not justifying the act, but you have to see what the gravity of the offense is. इसको आप यूज क्यों करेंगे? क्योंकि हमें ultimately down the line we have to stop dissent, जिसे कहते हैं. क्योंकि प्रदर्शन हमेशा गवर्नमेंट के अगेंस्ट होते हैं. ऑपोजिशन के अगेंस्ट तो प्रदर्शन बहुत ही कम होते भी है तो गवर्नमेंट ही करेगी. तो गवर्नमेंट कुछ कर रही तो गवर्नमेंट के अगेंस्ट एक्शन कौन लेगा?
वेरी वैलिड पॉइंट. मेरे भी दिमाग में यही आ रहा था कि पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी ज्यादा डिस्ट्रॉय तब होगी जब कोई प्रदर्शन होगा, और फिर थोड़ी मॉब टाइप सिचुएशन हो गई, किसी ने कहीं पत्थर फेंक दिया, कुछ हो गया, तो फिर उनको टेररिज्म एक्ट में बंद करो.
हाँ,
यार लाइफ का तो कोई पॉइंट ही नहीं बनता. मतलब ये तो एक लॉजिक कहता है कि साल भर से 5 साल मैक्स, कि अरे बहुत कुछ तबाह कर दिया आपने, एक ब्रिज तोड़ दिया, तो भी मतलब लाइक यू नो, और वहां ब्रिज तोड़ने पे वैसे ही लाइफ और दूसरी चीजों पे बात आ जाती है कि यू हैव हार्म्ड पीपल, यू हैव हार्म्ड लाइक रिसोर्सेज.
And see, in a democracy, public rallies or gatherings like this are one of the most formidable tools for the opposition. Any party that comes to power, in their history, they have always used these tools. अब आप डिसेंट को ही अगर क्वेल कर दोगे तो फिर बचेगा क्या? मेरे पास क्या रास्ता है फिर गवर्नमेंट के अगेंस्ट बोलने का?
इससे एक और बड़ा लूप होल याद आ रहा है, जैसे जनरली काफ़ी केसेस में हुआ जब वो रेप केस भी एक बड़ा फेमस हुआ था, और उसमें ठीक है गिल्टी हो जाते हैं, सज़ा सुनाई जाती है, बट देन बोल देता है ये मेंटली स्टेबल नहीं है। उस चीज़ का भी कितना मिसयूज होता है।
इसका मिसयूज होता है। बेसिकली जो डेफिनेशन है, जो डिफेंस अवेलेबल है ऑफ
निर्भया केस में।
इंसैनिटी का जो डिफेंस है
हम्म,
थोड़ा वेग है, बट देन वो वेग इसलिए है कि इवन इन मेडिकल साइंस is also not able to define mental insanity completely.
ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट नहीं है कोई एकदम।
There are
point
two
नहीं
types
है।
of insanity so far as law is concerned. One is permanent insanity, कि कोई बिल्कुल ही पागल है, and then there is temporary insanity. Temporary insanity is कि मैं आपको for a particular brief moment of time इतना परेशान कर दूं that you lose sense of your logic or anything, and then you commit an act in that
मतलब उस
aggression.
मौके में होश
in that
खो देना
aggression.
एक मौके में।
That's temporary insanity. And then there is permanent insanity कि आप you don't have that mental faculty to know what's right or wrong, and you commit an act because you don't have that mental faculty. You are committing an act in ignorance. जिसको there's this Latin phrase called non compos mentis, not of a sound mind. But that definition is very vague. There is no strict definition to that. Now, because medical science only doesn't define it, how can a legal statute do it? उसका होता है misuse. I won't say that misuse नहीं होता, but then insanity prove करना भी, it's not very easy because you'll need medical evidence to back up your claim of insanity. Vagueness के कारण होता है because the definition is vague. Misuse तभी होगा जब definition vague होगी.
प्री इंसानिटी तो लेकिन मतलब टीवी शोज और ड्रामास में बहुत ज्यादा एक ऐसा टूल दिखाते हैं कि इसको तो हर पावरफुल आदमी अब्यूज कर ही सकता है, स्पेशली।
हमारे
और ये
यहाँ
केस भी फिर वैसे होते हैं ना, नॉर्मली मर्डर में ही लगता है, छोटी मोटी चोरी वोरी में नहीं आती।
नहीं, चोरी वोरी में तो नहीं आता। हमारे यहाँ जो सबसे फेमस एग्जाम्पल है इसका, नानावती ट्रायल हुआ था जिसपे मूवीज भी बनी है, रुस्तम मूवी बनी थी एक। तो दैट नानावती ट्रायल वाज अबाउट द डिफेंस ऑफ इंसैनिटी, but then the court convicted the individual saying that you had time to think it out, and after a lot of deliberation you committed the act. क्योंकि उसमें डिफेंस यही था that the particular individual saw his wife in a compromising position with somebody else, and that drove him mad, and then he came back and murdered the particular individual.
Later on.
Yes. So the court held that you left that spot, you went home, you picked up the gun, you came back. All this time you had a
To cool
good
down.
couple of hours to cool down, think about what you're doing, and you still committed the act. So you were not insane.
हाँ, एकदम ऑन द स्पॉट हीट ऑफ द मोमेंट में नहीं हुआ।
हीट ऑफ द मोमेंट में नहीं हुआ।
इसमें बीएनएस में तो एफआईआर भी मैंडेटरी नहीं है ना?
नहीं, एफआईआर मैंडेटरी है। एफआईआर मैंडेटरी है। एक प्रोविजन पहले कहीं लिखा हुआ नहीं था पुराने आईपीसी में। इट्स नॉट बेसिकली आईपीसी इज नॉट इन विच द एफआईआर इज रजिस्टर्ड। एफआईआर वाज रजिस्टर्ड अंडर सीआरपीसी, द क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर कोड। दो टाइप के लॉज होते हैं, एक सब्सटैंटिव लॉज होते हैं विच प्रोवाइड फॉर व्हाट द पनिशमेंट इज एंड व्हाट द एक्ट ऑफेंस इज। सो दैट प्रोसीजरल लॉ वाज सीआरपीसी, जिसको रिप्लेस करके भारतीय नागरिक सुरक्षा संहिता लाए हैं आप। तो पहले इन the old CRPC there was no provision for something which is called a zero FIR. Zero FIR ये होती है कि हमें इंफॉर्मेशन मिली, हम गए, हमने पुलिस को इन्फॉर्म किया, उस पुलिस थाने को ज्यूरिसडिक्शन नहीं है, उन्होंने FIR रजिस्टर कर ली, या ज्यूरिसडिक्शन भी है बट क्राइम अभी रजिस्टर नहीं किया, मेनली जस्ट FIR लिखी है, आफ्टर इन्वेस्टिगेशन देन क्राइम नंबर असाइन करेंगे उसको। तो जब रजिस्टर करेंगे तब वो उसको कोई नंबर नहीं देते, तो उसको जीरो एफआईआर बोलते हैं कि उसका कोई नंबर नहीं है। दैट हैज नाउ बीन कोडिफाइड इन बीएनएसएस। तो वो होता पहले भी था, पहले वो एज अ प्रैक्टिस होता था, नाउ इट्स बिकम प्रोसीजरल।
पहले वो बस बेसिकली एक सेट हो गया, जो क्या बोलते हैं उस चीज को, जो
इट्स नाउ रिटन,
प्रेसिडेंट्स के बेस पे होता था।
इट वाज अनरिटन अर्लियर, now it's written in the act. So it's not as if FIR करनी जरूरी नहीं है, मतलब आप you don't need to necessarily assign a number, 0 FIR होगी, and then once the investigation proceeds, then a number will be assigned ultimately.
हम वैसे डिस्कस कर रहे थे dramatic moments in court, especially with certain cases where the women are the victims and they are saying कि if आपकी daughter के साथ ऐसा हो तो आप क्या फील करोगे. तो और ऐसे dramatic moments court में आपके साथ जो हुए हो, like some of the more memorable जो TV worthy moments बोल सकते.
Dramatic, not exactly in the courtroom में भी होता है, but one of the most memorable thing that has happened, memorable इसलिए because I consider it to be a good memory, and for me as a lawyer, more than any fees that I could have had, this was more satisfying. I had this client who was implicated by his then wife in a domestic violence case. And then there was a divorce case also. There was a maintenance case also. In the domestic violence case, the father was also roped in. And the father of this man was 75, 80 years of age. And he was not even living in the same house. But then the girl had roped in the father also. So I was able to get my client relief. Mutually, the matter was settled later on after much deliberations. Mutual divorce hua inka. The domestic violence case was done away with. Divorce case was done away with. Maintenance case was done away with. And the boy went back. The boy was from Bombay. 1.5 years, 2 years after this judgment, I get a call from the boy and he says that, sir, I've just come from the Vishram Ghat. My father passed away today, and I just wanted to thank you that he went from this planet to heaven. He went blameless, and that is owing to you. And that really shook me, but then it was also very satisfying that somebody who's just cremated his father, the first person that comes to mind is the lawyer who defended. And he called me. So that was very gratifying. And see, these are the moments which a lawyer cherishes. It very rarely happens. कई बार होता है, client का काम हुआ, हो गया भाई, आपको hire किया था, you were paid for your services and it's done. You did a service for which you were paid. But then there are clients who remember what has actually happened.
हमने भी जितना देखा है आसपास, आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर गोइंग फॉर आउट ऑफ कोर्ट सेटलमेंट्स फॉर डिवोर्स केसेस, बिकॉज डिवोर्स केसेस अगर कोर्ट में जाते हैं तो एक तो बहुत लंबे भी खींचते हैं और बहुत अगली भी हो जाते हैं.
अगली हो जाते हैं. उसका रीजन मैं थोड़ा सा, आई वुड से दैट टू एन एक्सटेंट lawyers are also to blame for that, because ultimately हमको brief prepare करना है, तो we have to put a justifiable case in court that yes, in certain circumstances divorce has to be granted. So for that a case has to be prepared in that manner. And that is why whenever I get a matrimonial case, I advise my clients that if all options are closed, only then approach the court. If at all there is even an iota of chance that you can settle it outside, don't come to the court. Because once you are in court, things will get ugly. क्योंकि मेरा काम रहेगा, मैं अपने क्लाइंट को डिफेंड करूं टू द बेस्ट ऑफ माय एबिलिटी. मेरे अपोजिंग काउंसिल का भी वही काम है. एंड इन दैट the girl as well as the boy both have to suffer. And what is even worse is that if they have a child,
yeah.
it's worse for the child, because that child is scarred for life then.
Everybody, parents, you like
But
parents and all have a certain emotional strength that they have, or because they've had that kind of maturity. But the child who loves both parents equally in most cases, for that child it's very traumatic. And what has started happening now is that this is now becoming counterproductive for women, because people have started doubting the veracity of what the woman is saying.
Yeah.
Even in cases where the woman is justified 100%, people have now started doubting. कि अरे यार ये तो ऐसे ही होता.
क्राइंग वुल्फ वाली स्टोरी आ
वो
गई ना।
वो ही हो गया. And that is what I was saying earlier, that wherever you make laws to give strength to a certain sect of the society, that law will ultimately be misused. So you have to place a certain checks and balance in that particular statute itself. तभी उसका misuse आप रोक पाएंगे.
आपको ऐसा लगता है आपके एक्सपीरियंसेस में आजकल ज्यादा आ रहे हैं डिवोर्स केसेस एंड मे बी सिली रीजंस पे आ रहे हो,
हाँ.
क्योंकि सोसाइटी में तो हमें ऐसा लगता है.
There was this case in which the girl did not want to live in a particular city where the boy was living, and the boy did not want to live in the city where the girl wanted to live, and for that they wanted a divorce. And I cautioned both of them that this should have been decided by you before you got married. शादी करने की क्या जरूरत थी? Once you get married, then don't argue about all this. And uska major reason, yes, the laws are there, but then as a generation, we are losing that sense of patience that is required to nurture a relationship. हम बहुत छोटी सी बात पे जो which can be done away with by simply discussing the issue, we make it such a big issue that ultimately the relationship suffers. And then there are people who give you all kinds of ज्ञान कि अरे लॉ में आपके लिए ये है, ऐसी की तैसी कर देंगे, ये कर देंगे. And none of those are your well-wishers. Your well-wishers will always be people who tell you that fight for the relationship as much as you are fighting for getting away with the relationship or ending the relationship. The only place that I draw a line is where there is physical or mental violence. Yes, if that is the case, then you should
Proceed
think about
whichever,
taking the
हाँ,
call. But anything apart from that can be worked on. जितना जेलसली आप कोर्ट में लड़ रहे हैं, अगर आप उतना जेलसली अपने रिलेशनशिप को बचाने के लिए लड़ लेंगे तो शायद बेटर हो जाए जिंदगी आपकी.
मनी भी तो एक बहुत बड़ा वो रहता है टूल के. जैसे अब फॉर एग्जांपल यान अंतमानी की शादी हुई, शादी बाद में हो रही है, पहले बात ये हो रही है कि अरे अगर उसने उसको डिवोर्स दे दिया तो एलिमनी राधिका को कितनी सारी मिलेगी. नाउ देयर इज इवन अ क्वेश्चन कि प्रीनप्स जरूर होने चाहिए स्पेसिफिकली जहाँ पे इतनी अर्निंग्स है और सब कुछ है बिफोर द मैरिज.
Prenups, see, this is basically an American concept. Europe में भी है कई जगहों पे, but it's essentially an American concept. Prenups हमारे यहाँ तो अब बात होने लग गई है, बट जिसको बहुत कॉमनली आप क्रिटिसाइज कर देते हैं, शरीयत, मुस्लिम लॉ में देयर इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट दैट द वेडिंग इज अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, एंड इन द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इटसेल्फ देयर इज अ प्रोविजन ऑफ डावर, मेहर जिसको बोलते हैं हम. मेहर का कॉन्सेप्ट ही ये है दैट इफ अ डिवोर्स इज गिवन टू अ गर्ल, then upon divorce the boy has to give the girl a certain amount of money which will be for her maintenance. This is agreed before marriage. So this was essentially in the nature of a prenuptial agreement. And as so far as religious law is concerned, Islam is probably, in my limited knowledge that I have of religious laws, Islam is probably the only religion which religiously guarantees this.
क्या बोलते हैं इस चीज को?
मेहर.
और
डावर बोलते हैं.
डावर like dowry.
हाँ, तो basically that's provision for the girl upon divorce, so that the girl is not left without any means to maintain herself.
But it also predefines the limit of that. Beyond that
That's-
limit, there is no obligation for the man to give half his wealth or half his earnings or anything.
But then when you are getting married, it's always the option of the girl's family and the boy's family to agree on that amount. और हमारे यहाँ तो we've brought in laws now that there is a law, protection of Muslim women on Divorce Act, in which the woman can claim meher as a right. Then there is section 125 CRPC, new act mein the section has been renumbered, in which the girl can seek maintenance. Then there is the Domestic Violence Act again, in which the girl can seek maintenance.
But ये तो almost globally सभी जगह maintenance after divorce तो है ही ना, मतलब
है, but then हमारे यहाँ कुछ ज्यादा ही है. हमारे यहाँ a Muslim woman can claim maintenance at 3 different forums. Meher hai, Protection of Muslim Women on Divorce Act hai, Domestic Violence Act hai, and then there is the provision in CRPC. Hindu women also, there is this Hindu Marriage Act in which she can claim alimony, then Domestic Violence Act, and then 125 CRPC. So yes, the law says that अगर आपको एक केस में मेंटेनेंस अवार्ड हो गया है तो बाकी केसेस में उसको एडजस्ट किया जाएगा. But then ultimately you decide that issue in one case. The man is suffering for that maintenance issue in 3 litigations, and the woman is also suffering because the woman also has to ultimately fight for it.
तो और as far as I am aware, prenuptial agreement इंडिया में तो कोर्ट एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं करता. अगर आपने साइन करा भी लिया कुछ लिख के कि आप कुछ नहीं मांगोगे डिवोर्स के
See,
बाद.
if it's an agreement, if it's a legally binding agreement, it's a gray area, but so far as the law of contract is concerned, if it's an agreement between two people, then it will become enforceable. You can claim. But yes, the term prenuptial agreement is not well recognized in India. बहुत लोगों को पता भी नहीं है. Prenup भी नहीं पता, postnuptial agreement भी नहीं पता. It's because it's an American trend. Seeing TV serials and all, we've become educated, so we've started adopting it in our lifestyles. That's good because that can provide safeguards to both the girl and the boy. But then uska flip side ye hai that from the day your relationship begins, you'll have doubt against each other. It will not be a relationship of faith, rather than it'll be a relationship of doubting each other throughout.
Like any business partners or anything.
So that's the flip side of it. The beauty of the relationship of a matrimonial life that should be there is ending slowly. So better that you don't get married. अगर आपको ऐसा कुछ है तो, कोई आपको किसी ने बोला नहीं है कि शादी ही करनी है, मत करो. But शादी करो तो फिर then you become a bit adjusting, both of you. And like I said, except where there is emotional or physical violence, all other things can be worked on.
आप किसी को एडवाइस करते हो शादी से पहले के ये कुछ पेपर वर्क इन प्लेस रख लो, ये कागज है वो, क्योंकि सोशल मीडिया पे ना बहुत ट्रेंडिंग है. कुछ एक लॉयर्स ही हैं, वो इंस्टाग्राम पेजेस हैं उनके, और वो बहुत सारी चीजें बनाते हैं. मतलब इतनी ज्यादा भी कि अगर मान लो आपके फादर इन लॉ ने आपको कोई गिफ्ट दिया तो आप उनसे ईमेल बुलवाओ कि भाई ये तो गिफ्ट था और मैंने मांगा नहीं, और ये टाइप की, मतलब थोड़ा इम्प्रैक्टिकल है ये. व्हेन यू आर ट्राइंग टू,
Like I said, that if you're doing all this, then you are starting the relationship on a point of doubt. So far as lawyers are concerned, it is not our job to be marriage counselors. If you have this kind of a doubt in your mind, don't go to a lawyer, because a lawyer will ultimately think about your end of the bargain. They will not think about the other person's point of view. For this, if you have these kind of doubts, पहली बात तो if you have these kind of doubts, I think you are in the wrong set of circumstances. You shouldn't go ahead with marriage, because then you are entering into a relationship on a point where you don't have faith in each other, where you doubt that he or she might ditch me at a particular point in my life. तो अगर इतना faith ही नहीं है तो then why start the relationship? और अगर faith है and still you have these kind of reservations, then you go to a marriage counselor. Lawyer, in my opinion, is not the right person to go to.
वेरी वेल सेड.
हाँ, बहुत
Because a lawyer is a kind of a machine which is built in a way to defend one point of view. It cannot defend both points of view.
आपको ये लगता है आज के डेट में कि लोअर कोर्ट्स बेल नहीं देते हैं एंड हायर कोर्ट जाना पड़ता है, हाई कोर्ट जाओ, सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाओ?
हो रहा है, even though the Honorable Supreme Court has said many times that bail should be the rule, jail should be the exception. Sadly, it's happening in lower courts that for petty offences, bail is being denied. Offences in which imprisonment is less than 7 years, bails are being denied. And it's a sad state of affairs, but then that's probably happening because in our country, uh, being such a vast nation that it is, there are various opinions of various judges, and the discretion that has been given to the judiciary is very vast. So even if the Supreme Court has held certain things, the Supreme Court has not gone on to say that this is binding on all lower courts. It's the opinion of the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has not gone on to say that it has to necessarily be enforced by the lower courts. That amount of discretion has not been taken away. Till that time, this will happen. And sadly, it shouldn't, but yes, it's happening. Because हमारे यहाँ, the point is, even for the Supreme Court, with all due deference and respect to the Supreme Court, the judgments that are rendered are not opinions of the Supreme Court. They are opinions of various judges who are on that particular bench. Those opinions may also differ. Suppose a different bench is constituted, the opinion might differ. Like in America, what you have is that the Chief Justice of the American Supreme Court sits with all the judges, and whatever opinion is given, it's the opinion of the court, not of that particular judge. In India, the system is a bit different. It's the opinion of that particular bench, not of the Supreme Court. So that's a very gray area. It will take a lot of maturing so far as litigation is concerned to have to take place. Then maybe few years down the line, the Supreme Court in its wisdom might rule that yes, now this is a set of rules that the lower court has to follow while deciding bails. But till now, it's mostly directions rather than mandatory instructions.
बट ऐसा क्यों, मतलब उनकी क्या सोच है डिनाई करने में?
सोच तो देखिए, ये तो आई एम द रॉन्ग पर्सन टू कमेंट ऑन द थिंकिंग दैट गोज बिहाइंड इट. Sitting judicial officer will be in a better position to tell you about that. In my opinion, as a lawyer, most of the times it is a judge's way of showing their impartial attitude. You have to be a bit fearless to grant bail, especially if it's a high profile case. You have to have a sense of fearlessness, and you have to have a sense of in-depth knowledge of the law also, because to grant bail, you will have to justify why you are granting bail in a particular offense which is of a particular nature. Refusing bail is very easy. You simply say that a serious offense has taken place, and that is why bail cannot be granted. But if you have to grant bail, you have to write that yes, serious offense has taken place, but because of all these reasons, I feel that bail should be granted. It's a fit case for bail.
Do you deal a lot with cybercrime cases? Is there more that's rising these days, obviously with more technology?
Yeah, it is on the rise. Thankfully or sadly, you can go both ways about it in Bhopal, because it's still a tier 2 city, tier 3 city. It's not that much on the rise in Bhopal or even in MP, because we don't have a bulk of huge value corporate or say online transactions. Chote transactions hai hamare yahan. We don't have big payments coming in. Even the corporate houses that we have, we don't have a very huge amount of big corporate houses with big capital values. So thankfully यहाँ cyber crime का rate कम है. This is more in metropolitan cities where big amounts of money is involved. Here phishing है, या जो crank calls हैं, जो cyber, जिसको आप cyber kidnapping कहते हैं आजकल, digital arrest, वो है, but then उसका भी रेशो कम है अभी फिलहाल. It is on the rise and it will increase over a period of time, because people are not very aware of what they should take seriously and what they should ignore. I mean, my wife received a mail a few days ago, and उस mail की language आप पढ़ेंगे तो even as a lawyer you get a feel on the first glance that yes, it is a justified mail. So what to talk of a layman who has no knowledge of the law? वो उसकी language इस तरह से तो there are various keys that you can see. First you check the email address. Suppose it's an email. Unknown calls हैं तो you have these settings like WhatsApp है. Generally WhatsApp पे ही आते हैं video calls. So you can block unknown callers. Emails हैं तो you first check the URL कि वो .gov.in है या .what है. If it is not .gov.in, then it's a fake email mostly. So ignore that. You have to become a bit aware. Then governments also release advisories from time to time. Go through all these.
So is there any provisions in the new BNS जो भारतीय न्याय संहिता है या दूसरी चीजों में साइबर को लेके इसमें ज्यादा
साइबर
अपन
को
को
लेके
जा रहे हैं?
पुराने एक्ट में ही डाल दिए थे प्रोविजंस. सेक्शन 61, 64, 65 A, B, C, D करके डाल दिए थे प्रोविजंस अबाउट साइबर क्राइम्स. तो वो नए एक्ट में भी इनकॉर्पोरेट किया है उन्होंने. बट दिस वाज ऑलरेडी देयर.
अगर कोई ना चाहते हुए क्राइम सीन में इन्वॉल्व हो जाता है तो उसको क्या करना चाहिए?
लॉयर को कांटेक्ट करिए सबसे पहले.
पुलिस से पहले लॉयर को.
Go to a good lawyer and tell the lawyer that this has happened, so that the lawyer can advise you. Then don't hide and don't try to conceal whatever has happened. Consult a lawyer immediately.
वेरी गुड एडवाइस बिकॉज आई थिंक जनरली लोग बोलेंगे पुलिस में जाके रिपोर्ट करो.
हाँ.
पुलिस में जाके आप रिपोर्ट कर सकते हैं if you trust the police, which sadly is not the case, because most of the time the kind of sensitivity that the police should have towards civilians is not there. That is why you first go to a lawyer and then only you go to the police.
बट इन्वॉल्व में भी मेरे ख्याल से इसमें दो चीजें हो रही हैं मेरे एज अ थर्ड. एक विटनेस होता है, एक एक्चुअल पार्टी होता है.
हाँ, नहीं,
अगर
ना
आप
चाहते हुए.
विटनेस नहीं ना चाहते हुए आपने
नहीं, मतलब
विटनेस
आए
करा कि
देखा
यह
एक dead
पार्टी
body
टू
रखी है
द
घर पे.
हाँ तो वो तो विटनेस हुआ ना. वो तो
हाँ, तो वो उसी सेंस में.
Even if you're a
You're
witness,
still
see,
in the crime scene.
morality and law are two different things. Morality would dictate that you report it to the police. Right? Not reporting it to the police is not an offense. So you go to the lawyer, you tell the lawyer that this has happened, then you act on the lawyer's advice.
और मैं जस्ट टू एक्सप्लेन, मैं इसलिए इतना वो पर्टिकुलर हो रहा था कि एक है कि मेरे गाड़ी में कोई ड्रग्स कर रहा है, मैं भी उस गाड़ी में बैठा हूँ, तो उसमें तो आई एम क्लियरली अ पार्टी. मतलब नॉट क्लियरली बट काइंड ऑफ लाइक आई एम एन अकॉम्प्लिस.
हाँ.
वर्सेस कि अच्छा बाद में आए देखा कुछ होते हुए, या दूर से बगल वाली बिल्डिंग से वहाँ खिड़की के थ्रू देखा वहाँ कुछ हो रहा है.
हाँ,
In
तो
both the
आंसर
situations,
सेम ही है.
the
आई
answer
एग्री.
would be the same.
मतलब
would be to call a lawyer. हाँ, नहीं अपने तो काफी, क्योंकि दूसरे वाले में मे बी आई वाज टिल्टिंग के हाँ इसमें तो पुलिस ही को बुलाओगे.
नहीं,
पर-
पुलिस
हाँ.
उतनी अच्छी है नहीं ना.
हाँ, नहीं एकदम सही है.
पहले
एकदम
पुलिस
सही है.
आप सामने हो तो आप ही का गला सबसे पहले
हाँ.
पकड़ा जाएगा, वो तो क्लियर.
How much do lawyers earn? अगर इसमें कोई ऐसा चटपटा
Earning,
टाइप
see,
का आंसर मिल जाए.
it's very varied. It's very low. Sadly, there are lawyers who come to court daily, earn very meager amounts. Hard-working lawyers earn very meager amounts and go home. एक तरह से daily कुछ amount कमा के घर ले जाते हैं. And then there are lawyers for whom there is no cap. You name the price and
मुंह
it's
मांगी.
There was
there.
there was some podcast by some lawyer only, and he only said कि दिन के जो top notch lawyers हैं, they earn between 30 to 50 lakhs in a day.
Maybe more than that.
Maybe more than that.
But then that number is very limited.
Yeah. Very
मतलब वो
limited.
मे भी
Because
नाम
that's
ऐसे
the
होंगे
creme de la creme of lawyers.
हाँ.
I mean, lawyers practicing in either the Supreme Court or big forums. वहाँ पे भी even in the Supreme Court, not all lawyers earn that much. There is a very limited number of lawyers who have that kind of a fee structure. Mostly in district courts, in even high courts, even in Supreme Court, there are lawyers who don't have a very affluent sort of an income. Decent to good to very good. That's the scale. Extraordinarily high pay generating lawyers are very little in number.
What advice would you give to anyone who wants to pursue law?
See, the first thing is that you study the law sincerely. Generally law students क्या करते हैं कि हमें बस डिग्री लेनी है, उतना हम पढ़ लेंगे. Even if we are a student who get a law degree in, say, the first division or top the university, we will only study for the purposes of passing the exam. That should not be done. Study the law thoroughly. Passing the exam is one thing, knowing the law is another thing. That's the first thing that you should do. The second thing, and for this I think the Bar Council of India also has to take a call, is that law students की जो internships होती हैं उसका timing ऐसा है जो generally coincide करता है with the court's vacations. So students come for internships when the courts are half shut. They don't learn much. So then in the Bar Council of India should frame the course in such a manner that internships fall in place at a time when the court is fully in session, so that the students are able to learn. And the most important thing is that you should never, even if you have become a lawyer, even if you've had 15, 20, 30, 40 years of practice, never stop learning. That is why we say that it's practice. Doctor or lawyer, ये दो ही ऐसे profession है which are referred to as practice, because you are learning throughout. The moment you stop learning, or the moment you get a feel that I've learnt enough, that will be the day that your downfall starts, because then you'll become complacent. Another important thing is that this is a dying art now, because mostly lawyers don't come to the district court. उनको सीधे हाई कोर्ट जाना है या सीधे सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाना है, डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में नहीं आते हैं. दैट इज व्हाई दे डोंट नो व्हाट द आर्ट ऑफ क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन इज, व्हिच इज अ डाइंग आर्ट नाउ. In my opinion, for a lawyer, the most important weapon in their arsenal is the art of cross examination. क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट या हाई कोर्ट जो फाइल तैयार होके जाती है, दैट्स प्रिपेयर्ड इन द लोएस्ट कोर्ट. वहां क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन अगर पुअर है तो द बेस्ट लॉयर ऑफ द कंट्री ऑल्सो कैन नॉट गेट यू रिलीफ इन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, बिकॉज द रूट इज वीक.
उसमें ऐसे पॉइंट्स ही ने जिसको आप आगे आर्ग्यू कर
If you are not able to build a defense only, what will the lawyer defend in the Supreme
फाउंडेशन
Court?
ही नहीं आ पाई ना जो
Yes.
शुरू के early
And
years
that
में
is
थी.
why, as a lawyer, once you start practicing, start from the bottom and go up, rather than going there, learning that you don't know enough and then coming back.
अच्छा, एक ये बड़ी फनी चीज है और मुझे तो बड़ा फैसिनेटिंग भी लगता है. लॉयर सबको याद रहता है सेक्शन ये वाले के तहत इतना डिफरेंट होता है, बट यू गाइस हैव टू रिमेंबर इट वेरी वेल.
Memory is a very important thing that you should have, but then that happens with
Practice.
years of
Practice,
study.
हाँ.
And I think that happens with any profession that you are in. Whatever you are dealing with on a daily basis, you get very well acquainted with that.
और यार वो भी तो तैयारी करके आते हैं जो कोर्ट में सुनते हैं, मतलब वैसे कॉमन वाले याद हो जाते हैं,
नहीं, बट
बट वो उस केस के तो उसी समय प्रैक्टिस करके आते हो कि ये
नहीं, but
50
it
इसमें
happens.
लग रहे हैं.
Sometimes you have to act on the spot.
हाँ.
So you have to have that kind of memory that on the spur of the moment you are able to decide.
सबसे कॉमन क्राइम कौन सा है,
Common, see, you cannot.
या जो में भी आपके पास केसेस आते हो?
वो मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ that you cannot have a certain watertight compartment so far as common crimes are concerned. Crime depends on the strata of the society that you are working in. If you are working in a city which is of a lower financial economic strata, you will see crimes related to body or crimes related to women on a higher level. If you are living in a city which is a fairly modern city, financially affluent city, you will see white collar crimes on the rise. If you are living in a city which is digitally more aware, you will see digital crimes. So it will depend on where you are working at. So if you are working in a city which is financially very poor, in which there is a very huge gap between people who have a lot and people who don't have anything, you will see offenses like murder, dacoity, all right? You'll see drunken disorder. If you're living in a society where people have a lot and are very aware, then you'll see digital arrests, financial frauds, bank frauds. So it will depend on where you are working at.
एक ये चेक बाउंस के केसेस होते हैं, उससे हमेशा कहते हैं कि बच के रहो यार.
हाँ, because there is a presumption in check bounce cases that wherever a check is given, if the signature is admitted, then there is a presumption that the check was given to discharge a legally enforceable debt. So then the accused has to disprove that presumption. So generally there is a principle that you are innocent until proven guilty. Check bounce ke case mein that presumption is not there. The presumption is against the accused. So it's a bit tricky, and that is why we advise our clients that wherever you are giving checks, either you keep a copy of that check with you or you have everything in black and white about the reasons for which the check was given. या तो आप चेक के पीछे इंडोर्स कर दीजिए कि ये इस पर्पस के लिए दिया गया है, या फिर उस चेक की कॉपी अपने पास रखिए, so that it is in your possession in the manner in which it was handed over.
मैरिज, जैसे अपन मैरिज की बात करें तो वो जो जब अपन माइनर वाली की बात कर रहे थे कि देयर वाज अ माइनर गर्ल एंड दे गॉट मैरिड इन इंदौर, तो क्या कोई भी रिकग्निशन है फॉर अ टेम्पल मैरिज? अगर कोर्ट में या लीगली डॉक्यूमेंटेशन ना हो मैरिज का, बट आपकी माला पहने हुए फोटो है, अपने पंडित को बोल दिया कि इस पंडित ने करी, तो क्या लॉ इसको रिकग्नाइज करता है?
नहीं, लॉ देखिए, देयर आर वेरियस फॉर्म्स ऑफ मैरिज इन द कंट्री. वन, देयर इज द स्पेशल मैरिज एक्ट इन विच यू गेट योर मैरिज रजिस्टर्ड. सो रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ मैरिजेस के यहाँ आप जाके रजिस्टर कराते हैं. कोर्ट मैरिज उसको बोलते हैं बेसिकली. देयर इज अ डेजिग्नेटेड रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ मैरिजेस इन हुज कोर्ट यू गो एंड यू गेट योर मैरिज रजिस्टर्ड. देन देयर इज अ सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ मैरिज जो आपको नगर निगम देता है, that you got your marriage done and then you apply for a registration, and then the registrar of marriages at the Nagar Nigam gives you a certificate that you are now registered as a married couple. That's different from a court marriage because your marriage has happened already. Then there is this Hindu marriage as per the Hindu Marriage Act. So there is a provision of satpadi जिसको हम बोलते हैं कि जो 7 परिक्रमा हम करते हैं. As per the Hindu Marriage Act, अगर सप्तपदी नहीं हुई है, या even if you're a Muslim जिसमें if you're a Sikh तो उसको अनंत कारज बोलते हैं. तो अनंत कारज की अगर कस्टम नहीं, जो कस्टमरी प्रैक्टिसेस होती हैं which make a marriage, if those customary practices have not happened, then the law will not recognize that union as a marriage.
बट अगर कुछ भी कोर्ट मैरिज वगैरह कुछ भी ना हुआ और वो हो गया हो, तो इट्स स्टिल रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एज अ फुल
The law
legal
will not
marriage.
recognize it as a marriage.
तो तब भी नहीं रिकॉग्नाइज्ड.
अगर आप मंगलसूत्र भी पहना दे रहे हैं किसी को, unless and until those customs that are there, सप्तपदी जिसको आप बोलते हैं, if that has not happened, if Anand Karaj has not happened, if you're a Muslim, if your exchange of vows, and Muslim marriage में तो even if there are certain provisions, क्योंकि Muslim marriage is a contract, so contract में there are certain conditions that make a contract. So if those conditions have not been fulfilled, then the law will not recognize that particular union as a marriage.
मंदिर में 7 फेरे तो हो गए
legal
marriage.
principle. मंदिर में 7 फेरे भी, if the pandit is there and
यही मैं
pandit
आने
is
वाला
there
था.
to say that yes, I sanctified their marriage and the ritual of sapadi was performed in my presence.
बट उसमें भी एज का फैक्टर तब भी लग जाता है.
हाँ,
कि
वो तो
अंडर
है,
एज का वो
underage
एक्सेप्ट हो ही
का
नहीं सकता.
नहीं, वो तो है ही.
हमने पुलिस का तो डिस्कशन किया ही कि वो ही अत्याचार कर रहे हैं, जैसे एक आपने इंस्टेंस भी बताया कि फॉल्स एविडेंस दे के अंदर करा दिया. तो कभी ऐसा इंस्टेंसेस वो भी तो हुआ होगा, ये पुलिस वाले भी तो कहीं ऐसे फंसते होंगे.
होता है. I mean, there was this case that I had handled. There was an IPS officer who had his cousin who was also in police training. This cousin got into relationship with a girl who was also in police training, and both the families met. Both the families agreed that a wedding has to happen, and then something transpired. Both the families then fought with each other, and it was decided that the marriage will not take place. And the girl lodged an FIR that rape has happened with me. And this officer sat in front of me crying कि आप मेरे cousin को बचा लो. And I told him in as many words that this is what happens when people come to you. You should also have the same sense of understanding that you're going through right now. That you first investigate it impartially. But then, yes, it happens.
वकील भी फंसते होंगे,
हाँ क्यों नहीं फंसते. वकील भी इसी सोसाइटी का पार्ट है.
तो वकील को जाके
वकील जनरली वकील जैसे डॉक्टर सबसे खराब पेशेंट होता है वैसे वकील सबसे खराब क्लाइंट होता है. क्योंकि वकील को ये लगता है ना कि मैं जानता हूँ सब कुछ. द मोमेंट यू हैव दैट फीलिंग दैट यू नो एवरीथिंग, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू टू submit to somebody and give them that feeling that you know more than me.
Or even hand over the reins.
Yes.
वो तो कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं, नहीं ये वाला लॉ लगा, ये एक्ट लगा, ऐसे
very
कर, यू
difficult.
कर, मतलब